Okay, here I am at the start of the second turn, Warriors of God. I still have not figured out how I want to video this and how I want to treat it. One thing I can figure out is I don't have a lot of space behind the table here, which kind of sucks. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go in more detail still, but hopefully pull back a little bit as I go, because I just don't know, you know, it just coming in and saying, hey, here's what happened, is probably a little light. Alright, so I'll start another turn here. And we have an English initiative, and it's a big one. It's 6. Alright. So now we're on the actual action phases again, no? Yeah. In which case, what we have to do is figure out what the English are trying to do here. They would like to get England back. There's no question there. Is moving good old Henry, who would get up to 7 dice at pluses, really a powerful position. It's moving him back into place, a worthwhile goal. Now here's the problem. David, up here in, you know, the supposed King of Scotland, has this pile of mercenaries. He does not want to be in Scotland. I'm going to move him towards England. It's going to make taking England more difficult, but we can get it back in that case, in which case maybe we use Henry elsewhere. That puts it to the French. The king's stuck. I really kind of want to leave these guys in place. Stephen's stuck. I don't see anything that I can do. I mean, I could make a move against Anjou. Poitou is weaker, though. So I really don't want to do anything, and I think all the initiative is in the English hands right now. Got these minor leaders back here. And what that means is, well, Henry might as well grab Normandy. Geoffrey grabbing Anjou, though, does that make a lot of sense? Not really. Becket doesn't have a lot of troops. I'm going to move those mercenaries into England, and that's my English phase. French, I still don't think I want to do anything. Over to the English. I don't feel like I have enough here to guarantee I'm going to be able to take Louis out. I have better than he is, but it's not really of enough value. So what am I going to pull in there? Well, I'm going to pull Geoffrey of Geoffroy in as well. And I could actually move 2 leaders out of there, but I don't think I want to do that. I'm on the French again, nothing clearly to do. I want Matilda out of there. Matilda's got a decent chance at taking things. I'm going to move her over into Champagne, which is kind of valuable, and try to extend the English holdings there. French again. You know, I had a lot of moves. I could have done something to challenge, but I really haven't. And now I'm on the English again. Why take Champagne when I could have Burgundy or Flanders? I'll move up to Flanders. French again. And now the English. I don't see anything I want to do. Alright. So now we're on the battles. And, well, I don't know which one's more important. Let's take the English one. We got Stephen, we got David with 4 mercenaries, and Becket here. Alright, I'm putting Becket in command of the English. That means I get to roll 3 dice, and I have big bonuses. Stephen gets to roll 3 dice without such big bonuses as the French. And he kind of doesn't want to stick around, but we'll see what happens. So Beckett's bonus is at +2 leading. The English caused one hit on the French. That drops them down to A2. And I think I'm going to try to get Stephen out of there, which means now it's at +3 on these dice. I don't know where I'm going. I should probably decide rather than throw my dice on the ground all over the place. Stephen will withdraw to Picardy. Oh, he gets hit hard. 3 dice. He's actually defeated, which means we get to roll on the elimination chart. 4 + 2 is 6. He's been captured. And that's kind of the worst of all possible solutions there. Okay. And now to the other battle here. Now, here's the thing. I forgot, but Stephen could have taken up siege. He would have been at a 6, 7... Would have been a 50-50 chance of being captured, which is pretty bad. Might have been a better chance than what he faced. I'm always forgetting to do that, even when I'm playing opposed. Okay, so here, well, I can put Geoffrey V in charge. He's able to roll 3 dice, which is somewhat better, and at +1, whereas our French king is going to get 4 dice, because he only has 4 strength points, even though his leadership is 5. He's got to fight around. He's got nowhere he can hide. And he hits hard. He gets 2 hits. The English get none. We'll take, made him in charge, so I guess it doesn't make much difference. We'll take the hits here. And that's just made things look a lot worse for the English. The French had the aggressor chit here. The English had it here. Which means they're fine on this one. They're going to get their 4 dice again. Geoffrey still could get 3. He's going to stick around, even though the numbers look a lot more painful. And you can see there's a lot of luck in this game. Okay, and the French hit again, and the English do not. And now the English position is looking more risky. I'd be down to 2 dice instead of 3. French are still at 4. Do I want to give the French a +1 to the die roll if I withdraw? I think the answer is yes. I'm going to pull back into Anjou. And the French have a +1 to their dice. And they hit 1 more. Now, I can't take Geoffrey V because he was the leader. But so Geoffrey of Anjou is going to be the one who's injured, captured, whatever. He's got 2 stars. 9. He's just routed. Now, him being routed is ugly because it means he could end up joining the other side. Who had the initiative this time? I believe the English did, so the French are going to get first pick. So they're going to get an extra neutral leader because there's always 2 neutral leaders each turn. Okay, well, what about the next thing? We go to determine control of areas. First thing we do, English here in a French area. That doesn't work. Okay, but now what about the actual manifestation, the taking control? The French are all sitting in their home areas here with no militia, with no mercenaries, so they will get control of all those. This is a disgraced leader, so he does not get control of anything. The French king, sitting in France alone, gives a French control marker. And actually, even though France lost all over the place, you know, it looked really threatened, they're doing quite well by not doing anything this turn. Alright, but likewise, the English king is here in Normandy, and he gets control of that. Here, well, let's look here at Flanders. Flanders, we have 2 stars. It's not a home area, so I have to roll. That does not go over. She can't convince Flanders. And over here, Beckett's home is here, but there's 4 mercenaries, which means that instead of needing a 6 or less, he's going to need a 2 or less. And he doesn't get it. Okay, so that's the quick conversions on the territories. Deploy troops and recruit mercenaries. Well, the French have to go first as the non-initiative player, and they certainly will. Wait, no, not deploy. Raise troops and place mercenaries. The mercenaries come on the board. The Irish are already all accounted for. Gonna slap some troops down in all these controlled areas. This is not a choice. It has to happen. Okay, but what about the French? Well, the French want, they can build 1 knight. And here's their iffy thing. Do they expect that they're going to be fighting a siege in Normandy? I don't think that that's a necessity. So I'm going to place regular units along with that knight. And that's all the French areas. The English areas, well, Normandy, I can't build an English knight in. I can build 2 regulars. And up here in England, I don't control it. So the English only control the 1 area. And they're already at a disadvantage here. Now it's deploy troops and recruit mercenaries. The French are able to move their stuff around first. And here's the situation. I want to shift a unit up to here to get maximum strength points under Gerard there. Eleanor, she's fine. I like having a lot of troops with her. Let's look where else. Up here I can't move anything around. So now it goes to the English. They don't control any areas except Normandy, so they can't shift anything, and they can't grab any mercenaries because they're not in place for them. So now we dispose of captured leaders. Well, we got Stephen of Blois. And this is a bit of a problem, because if the French want him back, they've got to give back 2 points of areas. I am going to choose to do that. Problem here is I don't have a 2-point area to give back. So I'll give back Poitou and Languedoc in order to get Stephen. Actually, he goes over here in the routed leaders box. And now we determine leader deaths. Let's take the guys off the board first because they're the easier to forget. Geoffroy of Anjou is new this turn, so he only dies on a 1. Whereas Stephen dies on a 1 or a 2 because he's a little older. And he does not die. Let's go down here. David's older. And he dies. And he'll go away. And Beckett also dies. Again, this is probably the most luck effect that the game takes. Is you put these leaders out, you're doing something good, and they die at some inopportune time just because of a few bad die rolls there. Huh? Okay, let's look at Henry. Now, I'm going to put the king marker under the kings. So I want to pay attention to what's going on. And I can't see their ratings when they have those. He's fine. Likewise with Louis. He's a little older. He's fine. This can go away because it doesn't matter at this point. Geoffrey. Fine. Gerard. Eleanor. And Raymond. Okay. So, you know, we had a couple key losses here, right? We had David and his huge mercenary army, which has disappeared, and probably more important, Becket's death, which has just left England, you know, once again in chaos. All right, now it's time to place leaders and then the troops. Now, placing leaders, the first thing we have to do, let me get David out of the back of the box. First thing we have to do is we have to actually look at them all. Because we're going to have some returning leaders, and we're also going to have these randoms. And this is the thing. The French get first choice. Which one do they want the most? Henry of Anjou, coming in England, seems very, very potent to me. He could actually be a crown piece. Of course, this means Geoffroy will probably come back to the English, but that's okay. He also comes in with 3 fresh units because he's coming into his home, and he's the first guy there. Anybody else there is going to get the aggressor token. That puts it on the English. They have their choices between Walter of Clifford, who's kind of cool because he can take Wales and build Welsh archers, but I think I want Geoffrey of Anjou, and I get 2 free troops with him in his home area. Walter, okay, here's the problem. I don't think he comes in with Welsh archers. He can't take these to begin with. He can only take regulars. So he'll be coming in as a French leader with 1. And now the French have to play the rest of their leaders. Robert of Capet. Is it worth putting him in Ile-de-France with a strength point, or is there somewhere better? I don't know. Stephen of Blois. Well, it definitely seems to me that it's worth putting some more strength in England just to get more strength. There's a lot of troops in England that can be taken. Henri de Blois. Champagne's a good area. I might as well extend my strength there. There's always the option of running off and taking a pile of mercenaries, which can be valuable if you're fighting. And Capet may well do this. I think I'm going to drop him in the Netherlands with that very intention, to grab a pile of troops to use in the north. Okay, so now the English have to place, and they have Arundel here. Again, though, there's always this possibility of the mercenaries, and that's attractive here. Especially with this, Richard of Iguchi. He looks like he's designed to command a pile of mercenaries. So I'm going to put him, I don't think he can face Eleanor. I'm going to put him up in Lorraine. And Arundel's another question, though. The additional troops up here might be of more value, although I already control it, compared to grabbing some mercenaries. The French move first, or the French are the non-initiative players, so they're going to get the troops first. That makes it unattractive to place where the French have leaders. So I think we'll go. I'm trying to count how many moves I've got to make. I think we'll go to Savoy and grab the mercenaries down there. Oh, these guys can only grab 3 each, which is kind of a pity. But we're going to go on a destructive movement against the French, rather than trying to build our own territories there. Okay, dispose of unassigned troops. Again, the French get to go first here. Eleanor's just going to grab hers. I'll sort these out later. He can grab The king can grab 9 troops total. So he can take these even if he can't command everything on the field. Up here, he can take 3. Okay, now here I'd like to have the better troops with Henry of Anjou. But here's the problem. I'm thinking Stephen is more likely to be staying in England. So I'm going to give Stephen... No, that doesn't work. I'm going to give Stephen the 4 English regulars and let Henry take the mercenary army. Stephen's less valuable. He can take claim of England. Alright, now we do the same with the English. And they're going to grab troops that they can. Henry can grab all these, obviously. And that looks like we've taken care of all the troops. All these mercenaries come off the board again. It's kind of like this silly dance, but whatever. And now we look at the score. And I'm certainly not going to do every turn in this detail. It's just, I don't know how to break from it. Okay, control of England. The French do not control England this turn. Kind of looks like they do, but no. Control of France by the French is fine. Okay, area control values of 3. The French have 2 of those, so they get 2 points for each. That puts them up to 4. The English do not have any. Oh, jeez. Nobody was killed in battle. I'm hoping he wasn't killed in battle. I always forget those points. Enemy 1 or 2 star leader. Yeah. Okay, control of areas with values of less than 3. Let's look at those. There aren't any. Oh no, England has 1. So the victory points go down by 1 because they're in France's favor. Enemy king, enemy leader in your captured leaders box. So here's why the capture was kind of paid off. Poitou and Languedoc would have paid 2 victory points this turn. The leader in the captured box, even though he could flip sides, was worth 2 victory points as well. And because the French got an extra leader out of it, it was worth it for them to recharge that, to put another leader in the routed box. Alright, that's the end of this, the second turn, and we're moving into the third turn. And we'll see how that works.